Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us live today. My name is Francine Sayok with the International Seed Federation. We are getting very close to the ISF Virtual Congress, the biggest event in our calendar this year, and it's happening next week from the 5th to the 7th of July. We are all very excited about that. So today we have gathered the ISF Secretariat, full of energy, to give you everything you need to know about the Virtual Congress and to answer any questions you might have about participating. So you can post your questions in the comments and we will get to them. But before that, let's hear from ISF Secretary General Michael Keller about this year's theme. So Michael, our journey to resilience starts with seed. Why this theme?
Yeah, thanks so much, Francine. I think the whole team, we are super excited. Monday, in a couple of days, we are starting to meet you all and to engage with you all. Our topic this year, our journey to resilience starts with seed. We would like to position ourselves in the whole discussion on the United Nations Food System Summit, but all the discussions we had also following the pandemic on food security. And we are always saying, and I think that's the topic of next week, seed has an essential role to play. We are a foundational contributor to food security. And therefore, next week, we will engage on this topic. We will also make some proposals and taking some initiatives.
So we've got a very exciting program ahead of us. Hélène, could you tell us about the first panel called the UN Food System Summit and the Many Roles of Seed? So what is it about?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Francine, for giving me this opportunity to present you this panel. Indeed, 2021 is a super important year because this is the year of the UN Food System Summit, and ISF is fully engaged in this very important event. Your company maybe have signed the seed declaration that you can find on our website. That's really showing our commitment as the seed industry toward the UN SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And we will speak about that during this panel on Monday afternoon for those who live in the CEST zone. And we will discuss the role of improved seed varieties and how to build the conditions to create crop diversification. And we will also have the point of view of farmers, what they need in terms of seeds, of varieties, etc. We have 4 panelists. It's going to be very interesting. So one will be a farmer from Zimbabwe, Ruramiso Mashumba. She will speak in the name of the World Farmers Organization, a very important organization with which ISF is coordinating more and more. We will have also Marianne Sayok from the company called East West Seed in the Philippines, as well as Franck Berger, the CEO of Limagrain, a cooperative based in France but all over the world, and the CEO of Syngenta, Eric Freiwald. So it's going to be moderated by Claire Doul. You may have met her in Nice in the Congress we held 2 years ago. And it's going to be very interesting. So there will be a FAQ as well. And if you have any question, you can already ask them now or wait for the FAQ of the panel. And we hope to see you all there.
Thank you, Hélène. We're very excited for that. And now to talk about the second panel called the International Seed Trade and COVID-19 Key Learnings for the Future. And I hear we're also having a keynote from OECD. Shabi, can you tell us more?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Francine. Indeed, this is the panel which talks a little bit about the COVID-19 and the key learning for the future. So like many other sectors, the global seed sector had an unprecedented year and with this COVID-19 pandemic. But the positive news is that the sector itself didn't stop. In fact, ISF members around the world remained very active, producing, breeding, and trading quality seeds. So one of the actualities of this panel discussion during the virtual congress is that OECD, in cooperation with the Japanese Ministry of Agriculture and with assistance from ISF and the Asian Pacific Seed Association, carried out an analysis of such impact on the seed supply chain especially focusing on the Asian continent and the Asian seed market. So nevertheless, during this panel, we would like to remain positive and rather focusing on the key learnings that could teach us how to handle similar future scenarios. So we will talk around what kind of policy and economy responses could be given from the perspective of governments, international and regional organizations, and also from the private sector. So let's see the composition of this interesting panel. So they will help us to see clear of our future possibilities. As Francine said, we will have a keynote presentation, a keynote speech from Csaba Gáspár. He's the program manager of the OECD schemes. And we will have 4 panelists. Leanne Jackson from OECD. She is the head of Agro-Food Trade and Market Division. She will speak not really seed, but more about the trades of commodities and other agricultural goods. So she will pretty much broaden the scope of the discussion. We will have Arthur Santos Atavar. He's the chairman of and managing director of Indo-American Hybrid Seeds based in India. He will obviously bring the business perspective into this discussion. We will have May Choi, Secretary General of EPSA, as one of the contributors of this study, and I'm pretty honored to be in this panel myself as well. So hopefully it's gonna be an interesting one. And the session will be moderated by a very well-known figure of the seed sector, who is Marcel Bruins, former Secretary General of ISF, now independent consultant and experienced moderator of many seed-related events. So hopefully it's gonna be a good one, and it will take place 6th of July, 11 to 12:30 European time. So please try to join that one. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shabby. And now we're moving on to panel 3 and a keynote from the WTO. And for this, I'd like to ask my colleague Rose to tell us more about this panel called Addressing Emerging Plant Disease to Achieve Resilient Food Systems, and the keynote presentation that follows the day after called Trade and Essential Contribution to Food Systems. Rose, tell us.
Thank you so much, Francine. Hello, everybody. My name is Rose Souza Richards, and I'm the ISF Seed Health Manager. I will be moderating this 3rd panel session, as Francine said, which will be held on Tuesday, 6th of July, between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which on Central European Summer Time. As she said, the title of this session is Addressing Emerging Plant Disease to Achieve Resilient Food Systems, where we'll be talking about the current challenges that the seed industry is facing as a result of very restricted regulations because of some emerging disease appearance, how this will affect the movement of international seeds, and how we can deal with this, especially if there is collaborations in place. So it's going to be a very interesting discussion, and I will be moderating this session. And we do have a very interesting and very good and interesting panel. In joining me for this dialogue, we have representatives of the seed sector, Mr. Michael Leader from Bayer, and we also have Frank Klassen from BASF. So they will be able to provide the perspective from the seed industry, the impacts and the challenges that the seed industry is currently facing. And together with them on the panel, we'll have Mr. Nico Horn. He is the Director General of Apple, and he'll be able to bring to us the perspective from the government, what they see, what is the impact for them as well, because when we're addressing emerging disease and food security, food resilience, we're not just talking about the seed sector, we're talking about the different sectors that are impacted and they can come together. And finally, the 4th panelist, it is Professor Jean Gristanu. She comes from the North Carolina State University, and she will bring the perspective from surveillance. She is a renowned professor of entomology and plant pathology, and she has many papers published on this particular field. And the latest one is exactly talking about the impact of emerging disease on food security. So it's going to be a very, very good dialogue, and I'm looking forward to have you there. And as Francine mentioned, on the next day, we do have a keynote speaker coming from the World Trade Organization. Mrs. Abdel Motal will come to talk to us about trade and how trade is important for food systems. There's going to be a 10 minutes presentation followed by a Q&A session. So please send your questions, or otherwise join us on the day and send your questions there, where I'll be able to pass to her, and then hopefully we can have a very good dialogue and discussions about this very important topic for the seed industry, but also to the private sector as a whole. And this is for me. Thank you so much. Francine, is back to you.
Thank you, Rose. Now, I want to ask Michael to talk about the fourth panel called The Future of the Seed Business, Our Contribution to Resilience. Tell us about this panel and the speakers.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much, Francine. The interesting one with this fourth panel, and that's a little bit the learning we have from our last in-person Congress now 2 years back in this. We are also business people. When we speak about resilience, we need also to speak about economical resilience. And I think what is interesting also for those who are joining us and who have registered, to get an understanding how business leaders, that means company leaders, are seeing the future of their business, the seed business. What are the perspectives? Gives us the long look of your business. And I think the interesting one here is also to get the diversity of crops present. That means we have business leaders coming from forage and turf, from field crops. We have also business leaders coming from vegetables and ornamentals. That's the first thing. And the second thing is also what is important, to get a wider range of understanding from people also around the world. That means we have Lorena Basso from Argentina, from Basso Seed. We have Jules Damskar, who is from DLF. We have Eric de Rode from Cortever, and we have Marco van Leuven from Rixwan. That means covering the diversity of crops, covering also somehow the regional diversity, because the interesting one is they are not only working on different crops, but they are also acting in different regions around the world. Therefore, they will certainly take up some of the discussions we had the previous days, as Helen mentioned, UN Food System Summit, or as Xavi mentioned, on seed supply, because seed trade is absolutely essential in our business. But they will go perhaps further to provide us also a little bit more this long look, the perspective and the specificities of their respective business models. Therefore, please join us also on Wednesday, early afternoon. It's between 1 and 2:30 p.m. CEST, to listen to business leaders, to get their industry perspective.
Thank you, Michael. Well, that all sounds very exciting. And beyond these panels, we know that we have other sessions that are hosted by our sponsors and our other partners. And of course, we couldn't have done it without the support of our sponsors. And for that, I want to ask Camille, can you tell us about this year's sponsors?
Yes, thank you, Francine. Hi to everyone. So I'm Camille Beroni from ISF, the events coordinator. So yeah, I would like to thank all of our sponsor. We have our main sponsor, which is Syngenta. We also have BASF, Rixwan, Corteva AgriScience, Incotec, Phytosemias, Kimbria, and Qualisense. In addition to that, I would like also to thank all our registered participants. We have more than 1,000 registration as of today, which is very good. We hope they will all join and will be very interested by what they will see on Monday to Wednesday. And as Francine mentioned, we also have some partners and sponsors. We will speak during the channel World Seed. So you can have all the information on the Congress website at congress.worldseed.org, where you will find more information and you will see who is speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Now, we have here also Marie. What can our members expect, and what's in it for them? Why should they join?
Thank you, Francine. Hello, everyone. I'm Marie Tamazian, and I'm the ISF Members Engagement Manager. So trying to understand the needs of ISF members. So first, I would like to thank you all ISF members who registered already. And also, I would like to invite and to warmly invite non-ISF members to register, because it's open to everyone. as it will be very good opportunity for you to understand more about ISF and also how we can support you and your business. And also it will be a wonderful way to engage with our speakers and who are the seed industry leaders. So please join us, register, and it's free for everyone and also open to non-ISF members. And you can know more about ISF. Hope to see you there.
Thank you, Marie. Now, I want to get to the practical things. How can they register and how can they access the sessions? And for this, I want to ask Ira, please show us.
Hi, everybody. So I hope everyone can hear me. My name is Ira. I handle the digital comms for ISF. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm just going to show you quickly how it looks like when we ask you to register on the website, which is congress.worldseed.org. So this is how the website looks like. And then to register, you just have to click on registration here on the top, if you haven't done so already. And you will be taken to the registration page, which is managed by our co-PCO KIT group. And you will be asked to create your profile, which is stored with them, and it helps us also get your know your email address so we can keep in touch with you, send you your login details for the day itself, etc. And then once you've registered or you've created your profile, you log in, and then there you will be able to see the information available about the Congress. So on Congress Day as well, you have to watch out in your email inbox for emails that come from us containing your login details. So this is quite important because some of the emails may end up in the spam. So just keep an eye out for that because you need those details to log in. So on Congress Day, you will go into this login page and then you'll be asked to sign in. And this will be your kind of gateway to the Congress page where we will have the live stream of all the sessions, the panel sessions, the sponsor sessions, and also this is where you can interact with the speakers. All the Q&A will be live, so all of the questions, if you have any, will be sent through there. And you can also chat with other attendees privately. So if you would like to say hello to maybe a colleague or a friend that you haven't seen in a while and you met each other in the ISF World Seed Congress, then that would be a good chance to talk to them. So I guess, and also we have exciting kind of prizes that awaits attendees. So there will be some surprises in store. But also the good news is for our social media followers. So we encourage all of you to register so you can get the best, all the information right at the tips of your fingers. But once you registered as well, you will find out that we have this social media contest on Instagram and LinkedIn, and this opens tomorrow.
Thank you. I want to say hi quickly to the followers that we have on social media. We have Marcelo Pacote from the Brazilian Seeds and Seedlings Trade Association, who is, by the way, participating as one of the panel speakers in our hosted sessions by Seed News, our media partner. Ira, you mentioned a social media contest, and that sounds very exciting. Could you tell us more about that and how people can join?
Sure. So let me just quickly pull up a video that we produced for this purpose. So just to remind everyone, it's not open yet. So officially, it will open tomorrow. You have to watch out for our posts on Twitter and Instagram. But in the meantime, let me share with you how it runs. So. So that's it. Yeah, and so we want to also acknowledge that the social media contest is sponsored by Syngenta Seed Care, who is also the main sponsor of the Congress.
Thanks. That's really exciting. Now we have a few questions from our followers that I'd like to get to. This first question is for Michael and also the Tech Hub, who were in charge of preparing the panels. Is there a red thread that goes through all the different parts of this Congress, from the panels to the partner sessions and the sponsor sessions? Is there something that pulls everything together?
Yeah, if I may start, thanks, Francine. I think that's an excellent question. That's always where we have to think about, this kind of virtual event. There are many virtual events out there, but we would really like to use our virtual event. And we need to insist again, also, we are going to a studio also to build the right engagement with you, because the red line for me is somehow what is bridging all the topics together. We have our overall topic with this, which is our journey to resilience. But I think we would like to take the stand that all starts with seed resilience. And therefore, I would say somehow the bridge between all the panels, but also even what is happening on World Seed Channel, is the question about seed resilience. Seed resilience, that means you have diverse topics within seed resilience. It's about also accessibility for seed to farmers. It's also about innovation. It's also somehow to address all the challenges farmers are facing around the world. And it's also about how we, the seed sector, can continue what is in our DNA, breeding and innovation, to address all these topics. Therefore, I would say everywhere when you speak also about seed supply, it's how we can ensure seed resilience. What is the role of the private sector? What kind of partnerships we are also looking as the private sectors towards governments, international organizations, but mainly also farmers and other stakeholders. Therefore, here I see we would like to build this story, and we will bridge all into this seed resilience to support our resilience on food security.
Thanks, Michael. Is there anyone else who wants to add to that? I want to ask the Tech Hub, Hélène, Rose, and Shabi, what was your thinking in choosing the speakers for your panels? What were the criteria for selecting who should be talking in these sessions? Hélène, maybe you should go first for panel one.
Thank you, Francine, and thank you for the one who asked this question. Yeah, we always try to find diversity when we are selecting the panelists. So diversity in terms, of course, of geographical background. We have a wide range of speakers. We try to be as representative as possible in terms of continental representation, but also in terms of company size and organization. ISF is not only working with seed companies, we are also working with NGOs and public organizations, public institutions. So we are always trying to represent as much as possible all the partners with whom we are working. And I think that's what we managed to reach in these panels for the virtual congress, but also when we organize the physical congress. We are always trying really to bring all the diversity of the seed sector and of our partners in the panels.
Thanks, Hélène. I want to ask Shabi now. Panel 2 is about the key learnings from COVID-19. How did we select our speakers here?
Yeah, it's like Helen said very beautifully, what are our principles at ISF, picking moderators, but picking panelists and speakers. But in this case, we had a little bit more simple task, because in one hand, we had a concrete study which is going to be released exactly in the same afternoon when we have our panel discussion. So this OECD study on seed supply. So we try to select speakers who are and panelists who are contributed to this study, because obviously they have the knowledge about what was written there, and they can present the main finding. And the other part is basically we wanted to a little bit broaden up the scope, not just really focusing on seeds, not just really focusing on government policies, but in one hand, a little bit broaden up to other commodities, other agricultural goods, and also bringing a little bit of the company perspective into this debate. So I would say because of this study, this panel is pretty much formed itself without too much thinking.
Thanks, Shabby. Now, Rose, for your panel on addressing emerging pests and diseases, I could see from your choice of speaker that there was a balance between the private seed sector, government, and academia. Was this a deliberate choice for you?
It was a deliberate choice to have this very diverse panel because we wanted to hear from all involved when there is an issue with emerging disease. This is not just an issue that there is affect the seed industry or the seed sector as a whole, but it is also a very important topic for governments and is also for research. So that was the idea, to be able to understand a little bit more the level of impact and how we can address this together, which kind of ideas we can exchange between the different sectors and how we can take this forward. So that was the idea. So we have representatives, as you very well said, we have representatives from all the different sectors, from the seed sector, from the government, and from the research. And we hopefully everything will come together on the day when we have the dialogue. And of course, we cannot forget that we also have someone speaking from trade. Our keynote speaker from the World Trade Organization, that will be able to bring it all together, because the seed industry is an international industry. So it's important that we have trade to be able to talk about the impact of emerging disease on trade, not just for the seed industry, but for other sectors as well. And of course, we wanted to talk a little bit more how research and governments can see all these challenges and also how they reacted to when it comes to trade together. So it was very, very much deliberate and very much conscious to be able to bring a very balanced panel so we can talk from all aspects. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. I want to say hi again to the people joining us from social media. We have so many highs and hellos received from our followers. Thank you so much for being with us. And I hope you guys have all registered to attend the Congress. Now, Michael, panel 4, choice of speakers. This is a panel of business leaders. How do you think the choice of speakers reflects the diversity of the seed sector?
Yeah, thanks so much, Francine. I think the absolutely main point was to bring in the diversity. You know, ISF is the voice of the seed sector worldwide. That means we are representing over 7,000 companies acting in different crops from around the world. And therefore, it's always important for us to bring into these kind of panels also the diversity. First, the diversity on crops, that means from forage and turf, field crops, vegetables, ornamentals, and yeah, I think that's the main crops we have in this panel. But then also to get the vision of the diversity of the businesses itself. We have family-owned businesses, we have mid-sized companies, we have internationally acting companies, and we have clearly also multinational. That means, you know, to get also a sense of the diversity of actors acting in the seed business around the world. And then perhaps one point also we had in mind, as you know, we are going to the studio. We tried also to bring in folks who can join the studio, because we think this time we can also build perhaps a new way of discussion, a new way of engaging and exchanging by having also folks, not only our moderator in the studio, but also speakers in the studio. Therefore, you see there were some conditions we had to fulfill, and I'm very happy that most of this we could think and we will get, I'm pretty much sure, really good outcome of this kind of discussion based on the diversity of the sector, diversity of the businesses, and having people then even in the studio.
Thanks, Michael. Now, Kemi, you mentioned that we have more than 1,000 registrations now, and this is still growing as we have 2 days left to register. So 2 more days left for people who haven't registered to join us. So, Kemi, do you have any insights on where our participants come from?
Well, we have, as it is international, we really have people from all over the world. We have a lot of European from France, Netherlands, Germany, but we also have person from Australia, the US, the South Africa, yes, and South America as well. It's covered all the world. Really, it's very nice to have people from everywhere.
Is there anything you would like to add to this, Marie, from our membership?
No, just to clarify also that for National Seed Association, it is because we had many questions on that. It's open to all National Seed Association members as well. So please, to Secretary General of NSA, please feel free to forward and to spread the invitation, and the website, it's open to you members, of course, also. And also, really, if you are non-members, don't feel free to register.
Thank you, Marie. Now, Ira, we've been doing a lot of these virtual events over the last few months. Tell us, what was the ISF experience in bringing more events to the virtual environment, and why was this beneficial for us in our engagement?
I'm on mute. There we go. So it was a really positive experience, because the beauty of a virtual Congress is that it doesn't matter where you're based. Like Camille said, you can register and you can join. And the good thing about our platform is that you won't be able only to join live, but you'll also be able to watch the content on demand for 24 hours. So we understand that because people are all over the world, all the timings won't be convenient for everyone, but you can still log onto the platform and watch it as if it were live for you. And obviously until the next day when the new sessions begin. And I think for ISF, it gave us, having this virtual Congress and also last year, gave us a chance to reach people who, wouldn't otherwise have heard of ISF. And I think you can see that in our social media community that's growing, that they want to know who ISF is, what we do, and, maybe they already work in the seed industry, or maybe they're interested in working in the seed industry. So we were able to reach these people through our virtual Congress and through our social media engagement.
Thanks, Ira. Very well said. And you answered one of my questions already. Will the videos or live streams be available on demand for those who cannot catch it live? So the answer is yes. All the content will be available on demand on the online platform for 24 hours. There is another question. Will a certificate of attendance be issued for the event from the organizer side?
So yeah, this is a frequent question that we get. We understand, because like some virtual events, they maybe some people, to attend a virtual event, it requires some kind of proof that they attended. So for this particular event, we're not issuing e-certificates because it's just not what we do. But also despite that, we encourage you to attend and to show in other means that you attended the event.
Thank you. And I want to pull up again some of the very nice messages we've been getting on social media. We have, for instance, a message from Marcelo Pacote, again from Brazil, saying us that he really agrees with you, Michael. And it is our big responsibility to deliver food equally for every country, especially for poor people. Seed is hope and life. Very well said. Michael, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say hello to my friend, and I hope to see him soon again, also in person. I think we agree. And that's also where, as Ira mentioned, let's be frank, ISF, we are unhappy to not meet our members in person. However, to use this time also in a virtual way to engage, it's going beyond the engagement with our members. It's going beyond also to communicate to the members who knows what is seed, or those who are even active within the agricultural production, because we would like also to explain further what is the role of seed. What are we doing? What are the seed people doing day in, day out? And this is a story perhaps in past we didn't tell enough. And these kind of virtual events will allow us not only to tell the story, but also to deepen, I think, the exchange and the engagement with other persons, with other actors. There are several actors out there who we couldn't perhaps even reach with our in-person events. And this kind of engagement, also what we have done with the channel WorldSeed, can broaden the scope of engagement, of explanation, and also to find joint pathways to move forward. Yes, seed is hope, fully agree. And seed is not only hope, but also seed is so essential that we would like also to take even further commitments to show our role in the whole food production and agriculture production. We cannot do it alone. We need to do it together. And this kind of engagement, this kind of congresses is another opportunity to build this joint pathway forward.
Thank you, Michael. I think that just about answers all the questions we've received so far on social media. So again, to close, I want to thank everyone for joining us today on this live, and thank you to the ISF Secretariat for answering all the questions. Again, everyone, please register and join the ISF Virtual Congress. You can still do that by going to congress.worldseed.org. And on social media, you can use the hashtags ISF Virtual 2021 and hashtag Journey to Resilience. We hope to see you all next week. Let's all have a great virtual congress. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
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 See you. Bye-bye.
Here we are. I welcome you very warmly from our studio. This studio where we will be from the 5th to the 7th of July 21. Join us because now we have also finalized the program. The lineup of speakers is incredible. We are covering the 5 continents of the world. We are covering all crops. We are covering all sizes of companies. But we are covering also to have the voices from our partners, from the farmers, but also from the international organizations like the World Trade Organizations or OECD. And don't forget, we will speak about the UN Food System Summit. This concerns all of us, because why? We are looking for resilience. Our resilience, your resilience. And for this we have also a very important person making a keynote speech, the first day opening ceremony, from Peter Baker from the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, who will give us his insights on the preparation and the potential outcomes of the UN Food System Summit. Join us. It's about you, it's about us, it's about together we can do it, together we can reach resilience.
Aside from panel discussions, our sponsors will also showcase the latest from their companies, including Syngenta, BASF, Corteva AgriScience, Cimbria, and thanks to other sponsors who make these events possible, Incotec, Rixvan, and Phytosemias, and also to our media and external partners such as Seed News, Seed World, Seed Today, the World Benchmarking Alliance, and Iowa State University.
So as you see, there's lots to look forward to, so don't miss it. Register now, go to congress.worldseed.org, and you have until July 1st, 2021 to do that. See you there.
C'était bien passé?